You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Kirk Mona, and joining me are Rachel Gimza and Victoria Thompson. We're all naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders, just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely.
With both Kirk and Victoria. It's going to be phenomenal. Okay, so
yes, indeed.
I get to start us off this week, and stick with me on this one, okay? It's going to take a little.
Okay.
There's some story that goes
a long on-ramp here.
A little bit. Okay, so let's go back in time for a little while to late November in 1922.
Okay.
Howard Carter is leading a team of archaeologists working on a recently discovered tomb in the Valley of the Kings
King
in
Tut.
Sure
Egypt.
was.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been several weeks of excavating work on the last rubble-filled spot in the valley while waiting for the patron of the dig, George Herbert V, Earl of Carnarvon. Carnarvon, sure. The staircase that led to the entrance of the tomb was cleared and the doorway seal was inspected. They found objects there with names of other kings, but the doorway had a famous name. Victoria, you guessed it, King Tut.
Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun. So upon breaching the seal, Carter later wrote recounting this experience. He said, and I quote, "With trembling hands, I made a tiny breach in the upper left-hand corner. Darkness and blank space as far as the iron testing rod could reach showed that whatever lay beyond was empty and not filled like the passage we had just cleared. Candle tests were applied as a precaution against possible foul gases. And then, widening the hole a little, I inserted the candle and peered in. Lord Carnarvon, it's a really weird word, y'all, Lady Evelyn, and Calendar, standing anxiously beside me to hear the verdict. At first, I could see nothing, the hot air escaping from the chamber, causing the candle flame to flicker, but presently, as my eyes grew accustomed to the light, details of the room within emerged slowly from the mist, strange animals, statues, and gold. Everywhere, the glint of gold. So this is the discovery and the opening of the antechamber of King Tut's tomb. And this particular, there was some craze when it came to Egyptology before this, but after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, it actually led to a absolutely wild time in archaeology and a new era of Egyptology. So a lot of people after this discovery actually flocked to visit the newly discovered tomb. And at this point in time, I should also say that Egypt was recently independent and the objects of King Tut's tomb actually ended up going to Cairo, the Cairo Museum, and were owned by Egypt, which is a first when it came to archaeology at this time, which we're not going to get into that particular rabbit hole. So a lot of people came and visited this newly discovered tomb, and as time went on, fairly famously, more and more people who were connected to that particular dig died in what seemed to be mysterious or wild circumstances.
The curse.
The Pharaoh's curse. Yes. So the patron, Lord Carnarvon, who funded the dig, he was shaving and he actually cut open a mosquito bite on his cheek, which led to an infection. Because remember, this is 1922. So,
yeah.
Well, at this point, it was 1923 when that was happening. And that actually led to blood poisoning and pneumonia, which he then died from. Several other people ended up dying relatively close to when they were working on or visiting the tomb. And like you both said, most people claimed that it had to do with the Pharaoh's curse, which was said to be revenge upon anyone who disturbed the rest of the Pharaoh. A lot of archaeologists and such, this is a lot of spiritualists who thought this. A lot of archaeologists and Egyptologists.
Which was also very popular at the time.
Yeah, they were like, that's hogwash. But, Now, again, this is the 1920s, giving him a little bit of grace. Later, there was a old Polish king's tomb that was discovered in the 1970s, and a number of people who excavated that tomb also died, which...
Interesting.
It was a Polish king, so it was very well, that's weird. So they were able to do tests, and there was some microbiology happening in the 1970s. And they discovered that there was a soil fungus that could be responsible for the Pharaoh's curse. There's been a number of options.
Interesting.
Potential things that could be attributed to a curse.
Could it make you cut yourself shaving?
Oh, no. I will say that the Pharaoh's curse, this particular part of this flavor of Pharaoh's curse, while sort of being attributed to Lord Carnarvon's death, really, there's no way. He died because of an infected mosquito bite on his cheek. That's just... We barely discovered penicillin by that point in time. He was, and apparently bad things happened. Apparently he didn't have the best of health in the first place. So anyway, so they discovered a soil fungus in this tomb, Aspergillus flavus, which is a common disease, actually. Common fungal disease found in grains, legumes, and tree nuts. Many tombs contain offerings to help appease the gods and to help appease the dead and to help them and assist them in their afterlife. And a lot of those offerings can be grains and tree nuts and things like that, things they can trade or be able to give in their afterlife. So
I think that's the source then?
They do think that's the source. So this fungus is pretty wild. It's really, really tolerant to hot and humid climates, which I would say would be underground or in a desert would be pretty hot.
Well, desert, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not humid.
Maybe not
maybe
humid,
underground
but
it would be humid. I don't know.
Yeah. So a lot of other fungus actually perish in the temperatures, but they're able to grow and survive in as low temperatures of 54 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also 12 degrees Celsius, to highs of 131 degrees Fahrenheit or 55 degrees Celsius.
Oh, yeah. That's very hot for a fungus.
And that low temperature is probably similar to what it would be underground, in a tomb or something. So
exactly. And the humidity levels, it can tolerate pretty high levels of humidity. It's why grains a lot of the time have to be kept under 10 or 11% humidity, and aeration of grains is really important because otherwise fungus can grow in that.
Exactly, yeah.
This particular fungus has aflatoxins, which are 4 toxic chemicals. Ooh, Victoria sounds like she might have heard of this.
She knows that.
So aflatoxins are toxins that actually target the liver and the lungs. In humans, this can show up as acute hepatitis, immunosuppression, and even liver cancer.
Yeah.
Not great.
It's commonly
So-
found
Not great.
in peanuts. I think it's like a big problem in peanuts, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's huge. Yeah. But, okay, so I've done a big, wide lead up to this fungus. Now, what if we could turn this fungus, this toxic, deadly fungus, into something helpful?
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. All right.
So, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania, Kyue Ni and Maria Zatova, have done just that. They took,
Really?
yes, they took Aspergillus flavus and were able to find ribosomally synthesized and post-translationally modified peptides.
Warp, 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 warp.
Which is a lot of
Wah, wah,
words,
wah,
and I had to
what'd you
learn
say?
so much. They're also known as rips, which is so much
What a
easier to
rip.
say. Yeah. So peptides are proteins
Yeah.
that are made within the ribosome, and they have parts of their genetics, I guess, modified, and they're a compound that are known really well in bacteria.
And just a little interjection for our listeners who may not have had
Please
cell
do.
biology recently.
Thank
The
goodness.
ribosome is something found inside a cell that helps create proteins.
Thank you, Victoria.
Yes.
My brain was melting a little bit as I was figuring all this out and learning about it. I'm like, what
Trying to
on
remember.
what? Yeah. So what they did was they then purified it, so it was just that particular compound.
Okay.
I don't quite understand the purification. I tried. There's not really a good dumbed down version of it anywhere.
Of what they did.
Yeah. And
don't
apparently
worry about
it's
it.
super difficult to do in the first place, so we're not going to worry about it. So these researchers, they purified 4 different rips, and they saw that those molecules that they had purified had like an interlocking ring structure, which hadn't really been seen before, especially in fungus. So they named it Aspergillomycins. They then took this and they introduced those molecules to human leukemia cells and found
Wow. Okay.
right. So oftentimes they find or use rips similar to like how we discovered penicillin like attacks bacteria or like eats that, right? Which is probably wrong, so don't quote me on that. We use rips in medical purposes all the time, or they're starting to. So rips, they were able to take those molecules and they introduced them into human leukemia cells, and they found that the aspergillomycins did just as well as 2 drugs that are currently used to treat leukemia. They're
That's
able,
wild.
in the way of they're able to disrupt the process of cell division, which is cancer is the uncontrollable division of cells. So if you can stop the process of cell division, then you're stopping the cancer.
Right.
It's wild. So this only seems to work, this particular rip only seems to work for leukemia. It doesn't seem to work for breast or liver or lung cancer cells.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is still pretty new. The paper and such was published. It was published in June 2025. So it's still in early stages.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that just because something can maybe cause the Pharaoh's curse, it doesn't mean that it can't be used to go to fight against cancer. And that's
Cool.
what I have for you both today.
Oh, wow.
What a
Yeah.
wild journey from Pharaoh's tomb to leukemia cure.
A long
I know,
winding
right?
road.
Was not
It's
expecting that.
Exactly. That was my goal. All right. So my sources this week, I used Wikipedia to learn a little bit about Aspergillus flavus, as well as what on earth rips were. Penn Engineering Today had a great article. Penn Engineers, so this was the University of Pennsylvania. Penn Engineers turned toxic fungus into anti-cancer compound. JSTOR Daily also had the Pharaoh's Curse or the Pharaoh's Cure. And then Popular Science also had a great article. And that's what I have for you today.
Thanks, Rachel.
Very cool. Thanks.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, it'll be Victoria.
Hey, we're back. We have talked several times on the show about various diabolical parasites that take over their hosts' nervous systems and cause them to behave in ways that are very beneficial to the parasite, but very detrimental to the host. Notable examples you may recall if you've been listening to the show for a long time include the toxoplasmosis parasite, which causes causes mice to lose their fear of cats, which
amazing,
can lead to them being eaten by a cat, which is the definitive host of the parasite.
Of course,
not great.
Also, the horsehair worm. You guys remember that one?
Oh, how could we forget?
That makes usually it's grasshopper or cricket, and it makes them go seek out water and drown themselves so that the worm can get into the water to continue its life cycle. Lovely stuff. I feel like that's the bread and butter of this show.
It really is.
But what I'm talking about today reminded me a little bit of these type of parasitic strategies, but it kind of blew my mind because instead of taking place in a parasite-host relationship, it's taking place in a predator-prey relationship. Perhaps.
What?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
Tell us more.
Okay, so Fu Xinhua is a zoologist at Huazhang Agricultural University in Wuhan, which is in Hubei province in central China. And Dr. Fu studies fireflies. And as he was doing field research on firefly diversity, he noticed that in a particular kind of spider web, the fireflies that were caught were more often male than female.
Huh.
He was intrigued. Okay. Yeah. And he got together with some animal behavior experts from Hubei University, and together they studied what might be going on here. So the spider in question is an orb-weaving spider called Araneus ventricosus that's found in East Asia. And the species of firefly is called Abscondita terminalis. And they noticed that, it's
what a
great
fun
Latin names right there. They noticed that the male fireflies caught in these spiders' webs flashed in female firefly patterns.
Huh.
So females have a certain flashing pattern that attracts males, and the males have a flashing pattern. Yeah, different. So they set up an experiment, and they placed male fireflies into spider webs. In some spider webs, there was a spider present, and some there was no spider. Some, they also blacked out the abdomen of the firefly, like painted it over so that they couldn't flash.
Okay.
Rude.
Right. And what they found was that this male flashing like a female behavior only occurred when the firefly was in the web with a spider. It didn't happen if there was no spider on the web.
Huh.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's wild.
And these webs attracted male fireflies to come to the web and then also get caught in the spider web.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Oh, I see where this is going. That's
I think I've caught on too.
amazing.
That's wild. Okay. Let's see if it's going there.
In some way, the presence of the spider was causing these male fireflies to change their behavior so that they flash like females, thus drawing more food into the web for the spider.
Yeah.
They also found that when other types of beetles were caught in the web, because fireflies are beetles, despite the name,
Right.
Yeah.
the spiders ate these other types of beetles right away. But the fireflies, they left for much longer. They would wrap them, and leave them in the web, but presumably so they could continue to act as a beacon to attract more male fireflies. And also, they bundled up other types of insects more thoroughly in silk, but they gave the fireflies a kind of lighter wrapping over their abdomen so that the flashing could shine out.
Could still be seen, yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
Now, of course, the question is, how is this happening?
Right.
The answer
What's
is we
the
do
mechanism?
not know. We do not know.
No! Come on.
Yeah.
I like knowing, Victoria.
Yes, me too. This is very recent research. It's only a year old.
Yeah, how would you change their...
Flashing behavior. Yeah.
Well,
And is it is it the spider doing something, or is it the firefly responding just to the situation or something like?
right, exactly. That's kind of the main. I think the hypothesis of the paper's authors is that somehow the spider's venom is affecting the firefly's nervous system in a way that changes their flashing behavior. So that would be kind of more analogous to that parasite situation that I was talking about.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure, though. Another possibility is that somehow this is a natural kind of fear or predator response of male fireflies.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And the spider's just taking advantage of it. Don't know why that would be their response, but it could be. We just, don't know that much. So a natural next step here would be for them to take some fireflies into the lab and inject them with spider venom and see what happens if it changes how they flash. Haven't heard about any such research being done or planned yet, but we will let you know here on the show if we ever hear about that happening.
We'll keep an ear and an eye out, that's for sure.
Yes. That's really all I have for the topic this week. Kind of short and sweet. I just thought it was super cool and fascinating. A little frustrating because we don't know what's causing it. But
it's so cool.
Yes.
Well, more to come, I guess, right?
Hopefully.
Love it.
Wow.
Anyway, the paper, I didn't get to read the whole thing because it was not open access, but the paper's called Spiders Manipulate and Exploit Bioluminescent Signals of Fireflies by Xinhua Fu et al. From Current Biology in August 2024. And then there were also some helpful articles in the New York Times, Smithsonian Magazine, and Science that were talking about the research. So I was able to get some more of the details from there because I couldn't read the full paper.
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. We are going to
Victoria.
Yeah, you're welcome. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, it'll be Kirk.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are traveling to a place that has been mentioned on the show, I guess some, but not a ton, and that's Antarctica.
Yeah.
And I think part of why it doesn't get as much love is that there is naturally less life there than other places on Earth. Since it's so cold and covered with snow and ice at all times. Still, we've had like a fair share of Antarctica stories because there is life there, and the life that's there is strange.
And like, there's a lot of wild things happening in Antarctica in general.
Yeah, and we're traveling there this week, though not in search of something that is in the plant or animal kingdom. It isn't a fungus. It isn't alive at all. We're heading there to see a volcano.
Oh, okay.
Now,
wait, you said Antarctica.
Yeah, so you're probably thinking that I'm talking about this because I just talked about a volcano like 2 weeks ago on the show, but no. This is actually just a weird coincidence. I've had this story on my list for like 3 years. I just hadn't gotten around to it.
Okay.
So maybe I guess maybe I had volcanoes on the brain a bit since I was doing that other episode, and it made me circle back to it. But I think, much like your reaction, Rachel, we don't think about volcanoes and Antarctica
No,
a whole
I
lot.
think of, ice.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, we think of volcanoes as hot and Antarctica is cold. So maybe in our brain, we're like, well,
Famously so.
those don't go together, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
So at least here in the U.S., our most common active volcano that I'm assuming kind of most of us might think about might be Mauna Loa on Hawaii.
Yeah, sure. Or Kilauea.
Pretty common volcano that erupts a lot. So and in a very fairly controlled manner as well. So it's like literally tourists can go and see this, active volcano. And so maybe that's why we associate volcanoes with like tropical places, because that's one place that we like hear about them or see them a lot. I'm not sure. Like a volcano can be anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
but it's whenever there's like a rift between two spots, right? And like,
Yeah.
I guess there are like volcanoes technically in like Alaska, right? But I don't think of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Volcanoes.
Iceland, quite active in Iceland.
Well,
Lots of
and there was
volcanoes
just
in Germany.
recently a tsunami because of a volcano that erupted in far eastern Russia, in the Kamchatka Peninsula, which is also cold.
So like, it could be
Well,
very
it was
cold
a
there too. Not as cold as Antarctica, probably,
and
but
it
like
was an earthquake,
cold.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, there's plenty of volcanoes in cold places. And actually, according to a 2017 study, they discovered that there are at least 138 volcanoes in Antarctica.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
Which is that alone blew my mind.
138?
Yeah. Now they're not necessarily all active.
Right.
But then again, not all the ones on Earth.
I don't expect
in
any
other places are either.
volcanoes in Antarctica, let alone 138.
Yeah.
Like, I
so
recognize that it's a large continent, but what?
Yeah. I could just end the show right there with a wild fact, but we're going to keep on going. Only 2 of those 138 are actually considered active volcanoes. So that's, it's a much smaller number than that. But this also blew my mind. One of those 2 active ones is the most active volcano in the entire southern hemisphere.
Oh.
What?
Wow. What?
Yeah. Right?
I mean,
That's so wild.
There's not that much
called
land in the southern hemisphere, but still.
I mean, you've got
there is less,
quite a few islands that do have volcanoes, but still.
It's the most active one. The volcano is called Mt Erebus, and it has a persistent lava lake that is present today at the summit. And it somehow like breaks my brain to think of a lava lake in Antarctica right now.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Now, while it doesn't like spew lava every day, there is this like lava lake in the caldera, and it is considered an actively erupting volcano. Here's a fun little quiz. What year do you think the current present eruption cycle and lava lake started?
Oh.
It's an unfair question in every way, shape, and form.
I mean, just throw a dart at a timeline.
1910.
Oh, good guess. It's not quite that long ago.
1955.
1972.
Okay.
So for all of our lives, there's been lava in Antarctica, like
wow.
just hanging out, and I didn't even know it.
That feels wrong.
Yeah, that is impressive, but like it feels really silly and small when you know that scientists believe this volcano has been active for about 1.3 million years.
That's a long time, though, for a volcano.
Been doing its thing. Been doing its thing for a while. Now, technically, this volcano is on Ross Island. So if you're thinking, well, wait, if it's on an island, does that mean it's like separate from the rest of sort of what I think of as like the mainland Antarctica? Mm-hmm. Kind of. Like it's connected by ice. And originally people believed it was just like a mountainous area standing above the rest of the kind of flatter icy area. And that was actually connected to like the big chunk of land in Antarctica. But they eventually figured out that it's technically an island, although it wouldn't necessarily look like it from, if all the ice is present.
Right.
And actually there's a number of bases here on this island. I'm assuming you've heard of the U.S. McMurdo Station.
Yeah, and like you said Ross Island, I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I mean, McMurdo Station and several other stations are on this island. I think part of the idea is that, like, I'm going to call it the back side of the island, but like one side of the island is accessible by boat and the other side is locked into the ice sheet. So it's like right on the edge. This makes it a really great place to to be and do research and whatnot. Now, on the name front, I said the volcano is named Erebus, and I'm curious. I'm like, what does that mean? So I looked it up. Erebus was the Greek personification of darkness. He was the son of chaos, and he was either the brother or husband, depending on which story you read, of Nyx, the goddess of night.
I mean, so like Erebus, this is Greek mythology, so it could be both.
Yikes.
I mean, Hera and Zeus are siblings.
Yeah.
But like, so Erebus as a concept is like the dark liminal space between the world of the living and the underworld of the dead. So I gotta say, pretty badass name for a volcano.
That's really great.
And just like 20 miles away is another volcano, this one extinct, that's simply called Terror.
Oh, I hate that.
Wait.
I mean, great naming, but like, what?
That one's a bit on the nose, but at the same time, calling an extinct volcano Terror seems a bit of a misstep. I was like, well, they should have flipped the names around, you know?
Unless like when it was erupting and things, it caused lots and lots of terror.
Well, I decided I was going to dig.
Hang on.
Dig into it.
Isn't Erebus and Terror, weren't those the names of the two ships of the Franklin expedition that were lost in the Arctic?
Oh, very good. Very good. So what this was is these are the names of ships. This was so this island was actually discovered by Sir James Clark Ross in 1841, and Erebus was the name of one of his ships, as was Terror. So the two ships were the Erebus and the Terror, and one of the wild things is that the mountain Erebus was actually erupting when Ross and crew both spotted it back in 1841.
Oh.
So that is very cool. They did decide to name that one Erebus and not Terror, even though it was erupting, which seems like a little strange to me. And I was sort of pausing, when I was reading this, and I'm like, hey, let's just pause for a moment and go, hey, Ross, why the hell are your ships named the Terror and the Erebus?
That's what I'm wondering.
Great question.
Those are messed up names for ships, my friend. Like, that's
you want
wild.
Nice names so that
it didn't end so well.
Think.
For those
ships.
I wonder why.
I looked into this as well because I was going on a deep dive here. It's actually quite interesting. They're actually the HMS Erebus and the HMS Terror. They were actually military ships, specifically mortar ships designed to launch these giant mortars at the enemy during battle. And so they had really horrifying names. And they had these extra thick hulls to withstand the stress of launch explosions. And when they became decommissioned, they're like, you know what? These extra thick hulls would actually be really good for sailing through Antarctic ice. And so they were sort of rebuilt and refitted to be exploration ships once they were no longer ships of war.
I mean, if I was at war and either ship that came by and it was called the Terror, I would be scared.
Yeah, well, turns out people were. This is going to be interesting for especially our American listeners. If you're familiar with the U.S. national anthem, a.k.a. the Star-Spangled Banner, there's a line in there, the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in midair. And this is actually taken from a poem that was written about the siege of Fort McHenry by the British during the War of 1812. Well, the bombs bursting in midair, as mentioned in the song, those were coming from the HMS Terror.
No.
What?
So this is literally the ship that was bombarding Fort McHenry that gave rise to the Star-Spangled Banner. So
that's wild.
Wow.
Just a wild bit of trivia there. So like I said, the ship was converted into an exploration ship. That was about 2 decades after the battle is when this was all going down. So this volcano is cool enough on its own, but not especially weird, right? And like we're talking about weird, strange stuff here, notwithstanding the kind of odd name that it has. But there are a couple cool sort of strange things about this volcano. Because it is so cold on Ross Island, the escaping gases from the vents end up forming ice tubes and ice caves around these vents. And these tubes can actually reach very mild temperatures, such as, like, for example, 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 centigrade.
That sounds lovely.
Which sounds lovely down in Antarctica. Well, researchers have found
gas,
that numerous kinds of life is actually living in these caves. And they have shown that no outside source of nutrients is coming in, because sometimes they're often actually like a closed system. Like it's keeping an area like a cave warm and open, but it's not actually getting out to the outside because it's iced over. So these caves are actually being studied by exobiologists that are interested in how life could possibly survive on other planets. So if you have a world that is volcanic and there's caves on there that are kept warm, could there be life forms in there, like say on Mars or something? So very cool. That's a very cool thing that we're able to study here on Earth that might apply to life elsewhere. And another very cool thing about this volcano is the presence of gold. Now, it isn't unusual for gold to be in volcanoes. Like most of the gold on Earth we can access is actually associated with volcanoes in some form or another, since gold is generally deep in the earth. And one of the few ways it can be transported to the surface is by volcanic action. So some of that gold is trapped in the new rock that is formed by volcanoes and would be presumably mined out later by humans if we were mining an area that used to be volcanic. But also there's something special going on here. Mt Erebus, because of the style of eruptions it has, and there's actually like only a handful of volcanoes on Earth that erupt in this particular style, which is sort of this little spurting of like little rocks and things. It actually releases the gold as a gas and not as a solid. And that gas then condenses into dust. And it's estimated that Erebus emits 80 grams of gold dust per day. And it's been found to be deposited up to 1,000 kilometers away. And that seems really cool. So I did some math on this. For reference, using current spot price of gold, that's $8,608 per day of gold. That is coming out of the volcano.
But it's all just scattered to the winds.
It's just dust, right?
Quite literally dust.
Yeah, if we look at it in terms of like per year, the volcano puts out about 30,000 grams of gold, which is worth $3.1 million if you could harvest it all.
Wow.
Now, to you and me, we're like, whoa, $3.1 million. That sounds like a lot of money. You got to keep in mind, first of all, this is all dust scattered by the wind. So there isn't really a good way to collect it. And while it sounds like a lot, I really wanted to compare that to like how we actually do get gold. So I looked at some numbers. The Nevada gold mines, which is actually like a conglomeration of several mines in a similar area. They combined, this is one company that operates them, and they combined produce not 30,000 grams per year, but rather 93.5 million grams of gold per year. At current prices, that's about $10 billion of gold per year that they're extracting. So the amount coming out of the volcano is significant, but insignificant compared to a number like that. But I thought it was still pretty fascinating nonetheless. This is a pretty cool volcano that it has fire in the coldest spots on Earth and is spewing out gold and has, potentially alien-like habitable zones like other planets. Like there's a lot going on here. It's very cool. Some of my sources this week was IFL Science, the World Gold Council, and Wikipedia. But that's what I got for you this week, and I think that brings us to the end of the show.
It does. Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you.
No problem. Great. We got more fun stuff next week. Everybody have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone, for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach us by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can check out our website, strangebynaturepodcast.com, and you can support the show and get ad-free episodes at patreon.com/strangebynature. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.